This is popping up on a player. This would be episode 9 with Joey. Now, Joey, you know what I want to know? Is your real name Joey, or is Joey short for something?
Joey is short for something. My middle name is Joseph. My first name will be undisclosed, but
Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I just got finished with Eric Johnson, and he served in the military, and you did too. What branch of the military did you serve in?
Air Force from 88 till 94.
Okay. Yeah. You know, you got to be really smart to get into the Air Force.
Very smart.
You do? Now, that's one thing I know. I heard that test was no joke.
Yeah, it wasn't no joke. Basic training was hard, but if anything, it's just a huge responsibility as a youngster, to be on top of it. But I enjoyed it. Served my country.
Okay. And how long did you serve again?
8 years almost. I did some active, some reserve.
Okay. Now, when we talk about, being dedicated and all the things that it took to make you what would you all be called? Airman. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you put that into your style of play or the dedication? Okay.
Well, I think one thing about a DJ is if you're gonna do it and do it right, you got to have dedication, because now these day and age you got to market yourself. You got to be on top of the music. You have to practice. And I think those are some of the building blocks from it. You got to practice and you got to hone your craft.
Okay.
And you got to come out and see other guys play, so you can hear other stuff, and you got to put your homework in, as we say. Put the work in. So speaking of putting the work in, when did you start putting work in? I started putting work in, I think, when I was maybe around 15. My brother was in Gables. It was one of the first social groups before Charivari and Snobs, and through Gables I met Todd Johnson, and that's when I was introduced to
the great tall
one, and then that's when I was introduced to Daryl Shannon.
The fucking great one.
Right, the great one. And I was around that era then as a youngster, so I listened to Daryl Shannon tapes and liked the music back then. It was coming out of disco into progressive style music. And I picked up on it and listened to Mojo, and I just fell in love with it and put 2 turntables together without a mixer, and then it grew, and then had my local friends, made tapes, passed them out, and before I knew it, I was doing like every party when I was in 11th grade.
What high school did you go to?
Went to Redford.
Oh.
Started off at Mumford, then it transferred to Redford.
Because all the light-skinned people went to Redford.
All the light-skinned brothers, right?
And light skin is coming back in.
It's coming out. Whoa, can I make some money from it? Right.
I ask every DJ this, so if you've ever watched any of these episodes, you will know. One of the questions I ask is, in Detroit, give me your top 5 DJs in Detroit. Not necessarily in any particular order.
Okay, the top 5 that continually spin in Detroit,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay. Your top 5.
Okay, my top 5. Okay, my top 5 would definitely be Mike Huckabee.
Huck, I hope you watch this, because everybody loves you, bro.
Yeah, definitely Mike Huckabee. Always a Derek May fan. I was just chatting with him online the day before yesterday, because I'm gonna have this big 50th birthday party, but we'll talk about that one later.
You'll hear it from me, because I'm nosy like that.
Derek May, Mike Huckabee, I'm always going to say, and these are cool guys that I DJ'd with, always Norm Talley. That's my man, hands down. Delano.
Yeah,
definitely Delano. Delano's my main man. The 5th spot, that's a hard one to call, but I get that one to my man, Terrence Parker. I'm a Terrence Parker fan, too.
Okay. Now, is there a certain genre that you enjoy more than another?
Definitely the deep house. I like deep house. I like beats. I like soulful house, but I like stuff to kind of get you a little bit moving a little bit more. Okay. I DJ soulful, but I like more stuff that has more of a, hype beat to it. That's how I can put it,
So when do you like to play your music pitched up a little bit? Is that what I'm hearing?
I keep my music where it needs to be pitched up, but definitely I'll say more of a upper beat, more out of the
like
the 127. Yeah, I was just gonna say 127. Yeah, you got it. So you follow North shit.
I do know my shit. For those of you who ever question me, I know my shit.
She on it now, so
that's one thing I will give myself credit for.
Yeah, you are.
My legs and the shit that I know, because I've been taught by the best. Thanks, Delano.
Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah, now tell me some of the places that you've played.
Okay, places that I played. when I started off, it was more or less mobile parties. But clubs I played was like Old Studio 54, Prima Donna. I did the Old Warehouse. I think I was one of the first to play in Canada at Cleary Auditorium. We used to sell that out every year with my man Steve Butler. You know, what up, Steve?
That's my
alum.
Boy. That's my alum. Steve can play too.
Yeah, Steve can bang. Me, Steve Butler, Floyd Wellens, Mark Sparger, those guys. We used to bang it out. You know, a bunch of places. Taboos, you know.
Now, the one thing I do enjoy when I talk to you guys, sorry for cutting you off.
That's all right.
I love it when you all bring up people that may not spin anymore or that I've never heard of. Like just a few minutes ago, Eric was talking about Reggie Dokes, and I know I've heard that name before.
That Reggie Dokes, I met Reggie Dokes when I was at Cass Summer School back in like, I must have been 83. And Reg came to all my parties, and I'm proud of Reggie to see how he took it and elevated it. You know, Reg Dokes is definitely one of my favorite people.
Yeah, but I love to hear about those who, again, may not play much anymore or may not play at all.
Right.
Or, you know, I just like to hear what created this scene that we're in. So, with that being said, I also like to ask you, what do you think this Detroit house scene is now compared to what it used to be? I want to see if you and I are on the same thought process.
Yes, you know, back in the day, it was a little, it was more free, it was more hype than it is now.
Do you think that's because we were getting older?
I think it's because we're getting older and more responsibilities are there. Some of the venues need to change a little bit. I think, but I think we're just getting a little older. But it seems like I was just talking to somebody. So the older we get, it seems like the more parties are available now. Okay. You know, like this past weekend, you got a party Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right, exactly. But what I like about it is it gives people choices and options.
Right.
You know, and now that we're grown and we don't have to sneak our parents' cars or sneak out the house or lie and say we're going over such and such house when we really going to Lumos. I did that. I did do that.
Yeah, Lumos.
Not the one on 6 Mile, but the one on 7 Mile. But I did do that. You know, so old school song. What is your favorite old school track from when you first started playing?
Old school track. Oh my God, there's so many that's floating around my head.
Your top three.
My top three. Beat the Street by Sharon Red. Definitely got to have that one. I love Donna Summer tunes, but I'm going to keep it a little more current. Wheel Me Out. Love Wheel Me Out. And coming into, and I'm always a Like This guy. I was the first one to play Like This in Detroit, so I always like This.
Okay.
You know.
And if you had to give any advice to the new, oh Joey, you got a dimple. I never noticed.
See?
Oh look, it's right there.
Yeah.
If you had to give advice to the new up and coming DJs, what would you say?
I would tell them to stay consistent. You self-promote. Get a website, web podcast, whatever you can, and come out in the scene and make yourself be known and pass out CDs.
And whatever you do, don't let anybody tell you that you can't,
you
won't,
do it,
or you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because you can do anything you want to do whenever you want to do it. You just gotta stick to it.
Right.
That's really the big thing.
It's called persistence, and follow your dreams. You know that old cliche, follow your dreams, but follow your dreams, because I was a kid in high school and never thought that anything was going to come about it, and I looked up and all of a sudden it just took off. Excuse me. So yeah.
So definitely, Joey, thank you for
You're
taking
welcome.
this time
Thank you
to talk to me. I appreciate
my baby.
you.
Yeah, sweet.
See, he said I was his baby.
Yeah,
Cue
she's
Mariah
a good
Carey.
one. Yep.
You really think so? Oh, thank you. I think so too. I'm a habitual line stepper, but that's what makes me me, and I am not going to change for anybody.
And I love you for being like that.
I do too.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
You're
this
welcome.
is P and Joey.
All right now.
See you later.
See ya.